This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with my weekly Wrestling Observer review. It's not going to be a long one today. There was not a huge amount of news that I found interesting in there, but I will plug everyone should go to my Teespring store and get one of these wonderful The Hannibal TV coffee mugs there. We have Great North Wrestling t-shirts, the Hannibal TV fanny packs, Blood Hunter t-shirts. Go to Great North or thehannibaltv.com or greatnorthwrestling.ca. Click on our t-shirt store link or go to our merchandise store link in the description of this video. Also, I did an interview with ECW diva Francine today. Just a half-hour one. I'm going to do a more extended one with her in the future. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing a live fan Q&A with Amber Nova, who's wrestled for NXT Impact and also did a Great North Wrestling cinematic match on here. If you search it up, Amber Nova versus Ninja. I've also posted it to the top of the comments. About 2 or 3 weeks after we posted that video, WWE started using Ninjas. It has about 50,000 hits. She's a highly talented woman. I really think she has a bright future in this business. So let's get on to the WWE news. WWE debuted their Thunderdome concept a week ago tonight at the SmackDown tapings. It did help boost ratings. Both Raw and SmackDown did better in ratings for their last shows than they had in a long while. WWE has a fan coordinator directing the fans how to react in the Thunderdome, according to the Observer. They're still using mostly piped-in sound effects for the crowd sounds. That's why it doesn't always match what's happening in the ring or how the fans are looking on the Thunderdome screens. WWE likes this because they're in complete control of how the fans react, because the fan coordinator is telling the Thunderdome fans to either boo or cheer on the screens, and they just put in the fake crowd noise for the reactions. On Raw, there was 4 fans on the lower level of the camera that tried to cause a disturbance. One of them was dressed up in a KKK outfit. Another person put up a picture of Chris Benoit on the screen. Another one had a sign that said "Fire Velveteen Dream." That, of course, had to do with the speaking out allegations. And yet another one put in a video of somebody getting executed. As I already reported, they're going to try and fix this by having fans that have appeared for a while and are trustworthy to be on the lower screens that are more visible on camera, and the newer fans at the higher levels where it's not really visible on camera if they try and pull anything. So they're making it trickier for people to interfere with the broadcasts. WWE's deal for the Amway Center is $12,500 to rent the building for the 3 pay-per-views they're holding there, $10,000 for television taping nights, $7,500 when they're using the building during the day for whatever practices, building sets, etc., and $2,500 a day when they're not using the building and just basically storing the ring and sets in there. The contract can reportedly be extended by WWE if they want to. I mean, they can actually have fans back in the buildings if they want. I'll go into more detail on this later, but some NFL teams are going to have fans back. AEW's already started allowing fans back, so it's probably only a matter of time before WWE starts doing that too. A guy that I interviewed, Karrion Kross, who's 35, won the NXT championship, but unfortunately had to vacate the title due to an injury that he suffered in the match where he won the title. And that's unfortunate because Killer Cross is one of the WWE wrestlers that I think is really good. So hopefully this doesn't delay him too much. But according to the Observer, William Regal said that Cross will be out of action for a long period of time. Renee Young is completely finished with WWE now. The SummerSlam preview show that she did was her last appearance for the company. Georgia Smith, who is the daughter of Davey Boy Smith Jr. I know her very well. Great girl. Of course, sister of the Hannibal TV heavyweight champion, Davey Boy Smith Jr. She has stated publicly that Bret Hart will have no part of Davey Boy Smith's official Hall of Fame induction whenever that happens, and that was a family decision. A lot of people remember Bret Hart had some nasty things to say about Davey Boy Smith over the years, so it might have something to do with that. Austin Theory, I only know the name and that he's had accusations about him. Don't know much else. He returned August 26th to NXT. He was, I guess, on Raw, but I guess they figured, according to Meltzer, that putting him on NXT would be a quieter way of bringing him back due to the allegations he had against him. NXT went unopposed this week. They did a 0.24 rating unopposed with no competition. Pretty bad when the best you can do with no competition is in the 0.2s. Raw did their best rating in over 4 months for their night after SummerSlam special this week. That also featured the Raw debut of the Thunderdome, 0.67. SmackDown's first Thunderdome show was also up. They had normally been getting 0.5s. They did a 0.58. AEW aired last night. There's no ratings for it yet. I'll do another update later tonight with the AEW rating, whatever that happens to be. They, of course, were unopposed for their show last night. Not much news for AEW this week other than, as I already reported, the Young Bucks were making fun of Randy Orton because I guess on Raw, Randy Orton did a kick that missed Drew McDonald by a mile. And yes, to your fans of McDonald that keep harassing me for calling you that name, even though your real last name is Galloway, so it really makes no difference what your name is. You're one of the most overrated wrestlers, in my opinion, the lowest drawing champion of all time in terms of both ratings and attendance. But McDonald sold like a phantom kick from Randy Orton that missed by a mile. In the old days, if someone misses you with a blow, you would attack them and make up for it instead of just looking stupid. But in the WWE, storytellers have to do everything according to script. They do nothing off the cuff anymore. And the Young Bucks were making fun of them, even though AEW has had their share of phantom blows, a lot of unpolished talent in AEW. Cody Rhodes is going to be out of action for a long time, apparently, according to Dave Meltzer. And I'll put this Carlos guy's comment up. What made me challenge Cody? He had an open challenge. We exposed the open challenge. And then magically he drops the title and he's going to take a long break, apparently, from TV because despite having 7 or 8 legendary wrestlers back me up, tons of fans support, tens of thousands of hits on my views related to those videos, we exposed that challenge as nothing more than a work. But I did make money off of those views, so it wasn't a total loss. Getting a new Jeep, actually, because winter's coming. It's starting to get cold here, and I want a better vehicle for the winter. Any accident I've ever had in Canada here had to do with winter driving, so I'm finally going to have a nice vehicle, and I thank all the Hannibal TV fans for their viewership, support, and tips that have allowed me to become Canada's #1 combat sports YouTube channel. In other wrestling news, unfortunately, Bob Armstrong passed away yesterday. He was one of the biggest stars throughout Georgia, Alabama, and the Gulf Coast of Florida and Tennessee. I'm not that familiar with him, being from Canada. He was having a long battle with prostate cancer that had spread to his bones. He opted not to do chemotherapy, and his wife had passed away on June 28th. They'd been married about 60 years. He's, of course, the father of the Road Dogg, Jesse James, 4 other boys that went into wrestling as well. Brad Armstrong had a really good career. So my condolences regarding that. Daga married Tessa Blanchard last Friday. I was actually the first to report it right here on the Hannibal TV. Piper and I reported it, actually. So congratulations to them. I've been posting a ton of Tessa Blanchard matches from PCW over the past few weeks. Everybody knows that I think PCW Ultra is the #1 wrestling company in the U.S. They have great matchmaking, the top indie wrestling stars, great crowds. They pack the place every time that they run. The booking makes sense. So I like the production values too, and I like that the arena, I've been to 2 events at the arena where they run in Long Beach, and it's a really ECW-ish atmosphere. So I'm glad that the Hannibal TV and PCW Ultra has a partnership, and I can't wait for PCW Ultra to start running again. But yes, I got a bunch of Tessa Blanchard matches from PCW Ultra that I'm going to be continuing to post on this channel. I previously mentioned that 5 NFL teams are going to be running with fans. Tampa Bay will be at 25% capacity. Kansas City, 22% capacity. Indianapolis, 25%. Miami, 25%. So 3 of the 5 teams that are going to have fans are based in Florida. And I've been talking to Amber Nova over the past few days, who I hope to have in Great North Wrestling after the lockdown ends, along with Taylor Hendricks, who I would love to see Taylor Hendricks against Lufisto, my beautiful angel of death, as I like to refer to her, with the best kicks in wrestling. The only fighter I've seen with better kicks than Taylor Hendricks is Alain Moussi, one of my kickboxing trainers, who is the star of the Kickboxer reboot films that are on Netflix. And you can check out my interviews with Alain Moussi on this channel. And I'm telling you guys, as a kickboxer, amateur kickboxer, and a kickboxing enthusiast, she's got amazing kicks. And it's a shame she's one of the wrestlers that hasn't had a good chance, but I'd love to see her in Great North Wrestling. She hasn't reached her peak yet. But the whole point why I was talking about Amber Nova was because she's wrestling again almost every weekend. Florida Indies are back going. I know Warrior Wrestling in Chicago is back going. But here in Canada, in Ontario, you can't run. In Quebec, you can't run. I think in Alberta and Manitoba, if you run in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere or in select venues, they'll allow you to run. But those provinces are way less populated than Ontario and Quebec. I don't think we'll see any wrestling professional in Ontario or Quebec this year unless a real outlaw company runs like some very small venue in a small town. I just can't see it not being shut down, and that sucks. So let's hope they allow things to get back going again sooner or later. In MMA news, Dana White has said Anderson Silva is going to retire after his Halloween fight against Uriah Hall. Silva has not confirmed this, but he is 45 now. Dana White spoke at the Republican convention yesterday and made a $1 million contribution to Donald Trump. And I have to say, overall, I do listen to the Wrestling Observer Radio for news, but everyone involved in the Wrestling Observer, including Lance Storm, seems to be extremely anti-Trump. I'm not political, but one critique I have of the Observer is they're extremely biased towards AEW and also extremely anti-Trump. So I just find like you're reading this information for wrestling news, not for political views. So I wish they'd get rid of that crap. But I don't know. It's their thing. They're gonna lose people for that. As far as Amanda Nunes, she will be returning to defend her featherweight title against Megan Anderson on December the 12th. They have also confirmed Kofi Covington will fight Tyrone Woodley September the 19th. UFC this on August the 22nd did a 0.32 rating on ESPN. Bellator has a lot of high salaries, and Meltzer points out that Ariel Helwani, the MMA reporter, who I actually should take his job because I think I could do better like extended interviews than he does. Maybe one day I will. And he doesn't look like he's ever been in a fight. I've been in more street fights than I can even count. Anyways, Bellator has a lot of high salaries, but they're losing their TV deal on Paramount. They've only been averaging about 312,000 viewers a show this year on Paramount, and they're moving to the less popular CBS Sports Network. It seems to me that overall MMA is on the downward as far as popularity. They've lost a lot of the big stars, and it just seems like less people are talking about it now than have been in the past. So I'm going to get into some of your questions here. By the way, I was supposed to do an interview with Savio this week, Savio Vega, but he's sick. I really hope that his illness isn't that serious. I was supposed to do it on Monday, and he said he wasn't feeling well enough to do it Monday, and he was going to get back to me when he's feeling better. So speedy recovery to Savio Vega. David says, it's been a few weeks, but I can't believe Seth Rollins said it's the golden age of wrestling. It is not the golden age of wrestling. The 90s was the last real peak of wrestling, and that peak really ended in 2001. The 80s was awesome. The time when Gorgeous George was popular, and when TV first started and wrestling was one of the first hit shows on TV, that was also a boom period. But I've been around, like I remember in high school when wrestling became popular, everyone had wrestling shirts on. You would see the cool kids in Austin 316 and NWO t-shirts, which you would not see that today. At the gym, like I hang out with a lot of 20-year-olds and stuff, and they don't watch wrestling. They're into Logan Paul and the popular YouTubers and MMA for the most part. That's just how things are changing. And for the people that love to be on at me, Hannibal, you're nothing but a YouTube star. YouTube is the future. So you guys can hound me all you want about being a YouTube star, but you can be a star on YouTube. I don't even have cable, and there's a lot of people that don't have cable anymore. Television will eventually become obsolete. Why watch television when you can watch YouTube on any device, and YouTube has a lot better content than television overall, and eventually people put all the good stuff from TV on YouTube. So I don't take that as an insult at all. Mike wants to see a 8-foot monster in WWE. V loves my Cannibal Corpse t-shirt. Papa Shango says, Cross being out of action is like winning a basketball scholarship and snapping your ACLs later in the day in training. I feel bad for him. I believe he's a legitimate tough guy. He has a great look. I think he's an inch or two shorter than me, but I actually met Killer Cross at the PCW Ultra event that I covered in January. He fought Chris Masters there, and I watched the match, and I could tell he was a future star in that match, and I got the opportunity to chat with him backstage numerous times that night, and I like him. He has Hannibal's approval. I'll toast my coffee to that. Papa Shango says Raw ratings are surprising. Well, it was the night after SummerSlam. SummerSlam's their second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and it was the debut of the Thunderdome on Raw. So that really could just be a blip on the radar screen. We'll see what they get for SmackDown tonight, and we'll see what they get for Raw next Monday. Papa Shango says, fuck Drew McDonald. Justin says Drew McDonald gave another interview where he said he was proud of the story he was able to tell with Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I mentioned this a couple days ago. Howard Stern, who I would aspire to be an interview as great as Howard Stern one day, posted a video clip of Roddy Piper a couple days ago from 2002 saying wrestling back then, and it's now 18 years later, was too scripted and too theatrical. And when he was pressed by Howard, whether it was fake or not, or how much did he plan his matches, he totally kayfabed it. Now look at the star and the legend Piper was. Okay? He understands the importance of kayfabing. When you're going up, like, I'll put it up again, McDonald saying we were proud of the story we were able to tell at SummerSlam, you're killing anyone's suspension of disbelief. Maybe the smart marks who are going to watch no matter what, because only the hardcore of hardcore fans are left, will get off on that of you guys being so open. But the regular people who already think wrestling is fake and stupid are just going to continue thinking it's fake and stupid. Anthony says Mahal is the lowest strong champion. Oh, no, he was not. Not even close. I don't have the figures in front of me, but Mahal did pretty good. And Jinder Mahal is a much cooler person in real life. I won't blow his cover of the type of guy Mahal is in real life, but I knew him. I considered Jinder my best friend for about a year or two, probably around 2004 or 2005. We were very close when he was wrestling for Stampede, and he was a Great North Wrestling guy as well. He was on the very first Great North Wrestling event. He wrestled Psycho Sid for us. He wrestled multiple times, and he was such a good friend of mine. He would actually fly from Alberta to Ottawa to wrestle for us and not even charge me for the flight. That's the type of guy that Jinder Mahal is. And yeah, he might not be like a hard-hitting wrestler, but he's the type of guy that he will fight you in real life if you mess with him. But by the way, I hold 2 victories over Jinder Mahal. Thought I'd throw that in there. Both of them were in Alberta. One of them was me teaming with Samoa Joe to beat Jinder and his partner. And that's up here on the Hannibal TV. Check it out. Samoa Joe and Hannibal against the Karachi Vice. Underdog says Cody's a chicken. Mike says Cody loves turkey. Max says Cody is a pencil neck geek. Mike also says Brandy is so pretty. She is a good-looking woman. I'll give him that. Carlos says Cody missed a huge opportunity to make himself look legit. He did, But as I said, I got hits on those videos and I made money off of it. I got some publicity. Those videos are going to be up forever, by the way. He's going to look like a coward forever. And as I continue to get more popular, as by the way, I do get more popular every day. I'm still on my upswing. That's not going to age well for him, all those challenge videos with guys like Terry Funk, Kevin Sullivan, Billy Graham, and Conan, all giving me lots of credibility. Now, Graham says the Bullet, Barb Armstrong. Yes, Papa Shango, R.I.P. Barb Armstrong. And we thank you, Carlos, for your support. Dino Bravo in the Hall of Fame? Maybe. Not anytime soon, though. Maybe if they ever do a Montreal WrestleMania, they would put him in. I'd like to see the Rougeau brothers in there. Raymond is on good terms with WWE. He still is a French commentator. So there's a lot more questions, but I actually have to go out and do some stuff. So I'm only going to answer a few more. Carlos says Jinder is great. He is out with an injury right now. That's why he's not on TV. Big Dummy says, chop that tattoo off of Cody's pencil neck if I ever see Cody the Chicken. I actually know a few people that know Cody and Dustin. And one guy who's also working on hooking me up with an interview with Jim Crockett says that Cody and Dustin both do not like me. So very funny. Dustin is a piece of shit, by the way, though. He fucked over me and another promoter, demanded his full money up front. He had an expensive plane ticket from Jacksonville, Florida to Alberta, and then he fucked us both over, no-showed it. And when we called him back, he told us to F off. So he fucked over the fans, and I see him post all the time about toxic people. He was a very toxic person and total slime ball. Tony Khan's a mark for his dad. He's got a big contract now, but back when he was doing independence, he was a total piece of shit. So you're lucky you had a famous dad and got the opportunities you did, and people used you again after you were a dick just because of your last name. So have a great afternoon, everyone. I'm off to do some stuff.